Hello, Omaha, and welcome back to Keep Moving Forward, a table talk for the City of Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department. I'm Lori O'Brien.
And I'm Laura Aite. We work in the Civil Rights Enforcement Division of our department, which is responsible for the investigation of complaints of discrimination under federal and local laws. These laws protect individuals from discrimination in housing, employment, and places of public accommodation. If you believe you have experienced discrimination or simply need more information on your employment and housing rights, please contact our office at 402-444-5055, or you can visit us on our website at humanrights.cityofomaha.org.
And thank you for joining us last month when we talked with Alana Shiver to discuss issues facing the refugee community in Omaha.
And today I'm pleased to introduce our special guest, Yesenia Valenzuela. Yesenia is the Community Relations Coordinator for the City of Omaha Mayor's Office, where she will serve as a liaison to the city. In this role, she works closely with the South Omaha community and ensures communication is disseminated in the language that folks feel most comfortable receiving. She wants to be inclusive of all, and most importantly, she wants the residents of South Omaha to be in the know regarding city projects and processes, as well as obtain information quickly and accurately. Yesenia has many years of experience working alongside many wonderful leaders and agencies that do their best to serve folks with respect and with special attention to the underserved. Much of her career has been serving both North and South Omaha in various capacities, from direct service at the Learning Community Center to operations manager for the biggest community health center in the city. Prior to that, her main priority for years was to improve youth-guided programs by building on their strengths and ensuring a path for success. Through her involvement in many youth-focused organizations, such as Girl Scouts Spirit of Nebraska and Boys and Girls Club of the Midlands, Yesenia's contributions have included curriculum building, as well as expansion of programs across the metro area. More recently, she has expanded her horizons to other public sectors, such as public health and early childhood development. Yesenia provides essential training in Spanish to many child care providers in the city. Identifying that early childhood education should be a priority for our state, she undertook extensive training to become one of the few Spanish trainers for the Nebraska Department of Education. She has continued this work even through the pandemic. Along with that career move, she also focused her efforts to help medical providers achieve better outcomes with their birth to 5 population by proposing early intervention tools to help their smallest patients reach their full potential. Yesenia has earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from Cal State University of Los Angeles. She's committed to her community and serves as a board member of the South Omaha Community Care Council and other associations that make it their mission to provide leadership and educational support to all the people of Omaha. Yesenia is a wife and mother of 2 boys, Solomon, age 10, and Sebastian, 2. In her free time, she enjoys running, watching her 10-year-old play sports, and family movie nights. So everyone, please give me a warm welcome in welcoming Yesenia to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you today about what you do in the mayor's office.
I am very excited to be here and can't wait to share this position I just took on not too long ago, by the way, so no tough questions, please.
Okay, we won't make it too tough.
Well, can you talk a little bit more about your division and your role, what your job role is?
Sure. So with the mayor's office, I get to, it's a really neat position, and I think it's a fun position. I come from a wide variety of nonprofits, and so part of this position is to really stay on top of what our community leaders and our public wanting from the mayor's office, or what are their messages and concerns. And so really bringing back those messages and concerns to the mayor's office and just sharing ideas on how to better serve our public. So I get to be a part of lots of different meetings across the city. I get to work with our business improvement districts, which there's 7 of those. Wow. South Omaha is one of them, North Omaha, Elkhorn, Blackstone, Benson districts. So these business districts essentially are trying to promote their services, their businesses, and the city gets to support them in various ways. And so I get to be a part of those meetings, as well as many other community meetings, neighborhood associations, as there's just a lot going on in our city. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was actually 7
Right.
business improvement districts.
Yeah.
That's a wide variety of area that you're covering with a lot of different concerns.
It sure is.
I'm sure.
And surprisingly, a lot of the same issues that North and maybe even Benson, or I should say South and Benson, they're pretty similar. Maybe Elkhorn is facing other challenges, but most of the districts are sort of tackling the same issues. So,
could you tell us a little bit more about, a little more details about what some of those issues are?
Yeah. So, when the Leahy Mall, right now the Leahy Mall is under construction, and so a lot of the conversations is across the city and with our BIDs, our business improvement districts, is the homelessness, and a lot of that affects our businesses when folks are coming in and they have various needs. They maybe want to use the restroom, maybe they're asking for food, they want to just come in and warm up as the winter is coming along. And so a lot of those business districts are facing sort of the same issues.
Right.
Safety is another one, which is a big priority for our city and our mayor's office. And so those are issues that we definitely want to hear about and try to come up with solutions. So those are some of the things. So safety, homelessness, just providing, obviously with the pandemic, there was a lot of these businesses that really took a big hit.
Yes.
And how do we get back to tourism and folks coming into these districts and eating and, buying and so promoting those districts in various ways is another issue that each of those districts is working on. And we help out by just, providing ideas or providing solutions. Obviously, the homelessness issue is a big one that we in the office have even started a homelessness task force. So those are some of the issues that I often hear.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're all kind of facing some of the similar issues. But it's great to hear that this homeless task force has been started. When did that start?
It's actually been only a few months. And again, it's a citywide sort of task force, but ideally that's how it started.
Right.
And then we sort of branched out to including really maybe the Sienna Francis, the Stevens Center, those agencies that are already doing great work with that population. And so we've now expanded that task force to really inviting and joining, having other agencies across the city join and really hearing from those experts and what are the things that the city can do to help out. Obviously, you probably heard about some funding that went out from our planning department to a lot of those agencies that are already doing great work, really to expand on services or just help connect more folks to different agencies. So
Yeah. Right, and it sounds like you work with a variety of nonprofits, businesses, and also connect with some of the other City of Omaha departments. And so, in relation to housing, kind of, a role that we play in the Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department is that we can take discrimination complaints in housing if someone feels they've been discriminated against. And so I think it's great to hear that, the city is taking kind of this, like holistic approach and trying to involve, all these different members of the community and trying to solve this problem.
Right.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think with the pandemic, I think the issue was already there. It grew, obviously, with the pandemic. The fact that, just we have a housing shortage, affordable housing. Lots of folks lost their jobs, and so I think it's not just a citywide; it's really a national problem across the the states. I think, we are also, as a task force, homeless task force, we're looking at research and what other cities, bigger cities, are doing to tackle this issue down. We're really looking at other bigger cities and really the experts to really help us come up with a solution. So
that's great. Now, is there any concerns like in different neighborhoods that you want to like mention, or something that the mayor's department and you are focusing on currently? Is there any things on the forefront right now that?
Well, right now there's, our parks really took a big hit. Our parks sort of across the city, particularly in some of those areas where there's already a business improvement district, took a big hit. A lot of our parks have been neglected. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, there was a shortage of employees, of seasonal employees. And so that's one issue that we often hear when I do attend meetings. It's, what are we doing about the parks? What are we doing about the parks? We had a fall cleanup, and so neighborhoods came together and did a lot of cleaning up and picking up trash from those parks. But right now the biggest issue is a few of those parks that have been there that are sort of a staple of the city, like Mandan Park. That's an issue that I've been hearing a lot from our community members. What are we going to do to keep it open, to keep it vibrant? It is a park that unfortunately has brought up some illegal activity, and so discussing with our group, with our public, like these are the solutions. We've tried really everything as a city to make this park, to revive the park again. But again, there's a lot of issues from previous years. Like it's been sort of a task that's been worked on for several years. Again, solutions that have just not worked, and so we're definitely taking a look at that a little closer. And so our parks, making our districts and our businesses, tourism, and there's a lot that we're working on. But those are some of the few things that I think in this position, at least, I get to really look at closely and bring those messages back to the mayors, and the messages that the mayor has to the folks that maybe don't speak the language, don't speak English, but speak Spanish. I am bilingual, so I get to utilize my bilingual skills often when folks do call the hotline. Unfortunately, we don't have a Spanish-speaking person there full-time, but I am there, and so I'm always willing to take calls from folks that only speak maybe Spanish.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right. So if someone from the community has just a general concern or a problem, then would you recommend that they call the mayor's hotline?
Yeah, typically that's the one line where, again, there's someone there 9 to 5 taking those calls.
Right.
I get to answer some of those calls when I am in the office. A lot of my work is out in the field, so I'm not always there, but I do get into the office. There have been times where I get into the office and I have a couple of messages, and they're typically Spanish-speaking folks that have questions or concerns. Trash pickup has been one call that I get often. Why isn't my trash getting picked up? Or there's this illegal car parked and it's blocking people's views and it's dangerous. And so things like that. Safety, obviously, is a big priority for us. So, but the hotline would be the best.
Right. So then when someone calls, like with the trash pick, so you just give them referrals? You're kind of like the...
So there's this system, there's this database that we utilize, CityWorks, and so when a call comes in, it gets sort of referred to the department that deals with those issues. So trash obviously would go to the appropriate department. Safety concerns, that's another one that and again, it's a system where we are able to put in notes, the address, the concern, and then it gets referred to the appropriate department. And from there, they take it. So we're able to, so they see that concern or that problem, they try to solve the problem, but they also make a note in the system. So if that person calls again, like, hey, what's
nice. Yeah.
happening with this
Right.
issue that I called about,
Right.
I get to see the notes
have
from
a
that
record.
department or from that person that's handling the issue, and I get to tell them, okay, this is where we're at, or we've already attempted to go and figure out the problem, but.
That's
So-
great. I think that's great for people to know. And I think we wanted to just like give everyone out there the number for the mayor's hotline in
Yes.
case anyone does
Yes.
want to call. So that number is 402-444-5555. And that is the mayor's hotline for general concerns from citizens or residents of the city of Omaha. So you, I know in your bio, you've done so much, and it seems like you're so involved in a lot of different areas of the community, but it sounds like you really have a passion in working with South Omaha. And so could you tell us a little bit about maybe some concerns or some issues that you've heard from the South Omaha community since being in your role?
Sure. I think, folks are really pushing to get information accurately and quickly. Oftentimes when we do have projects, there is a mailing system, but not everyone gets it, or
Yes,
not everybody
right.
really looks at the mail anymore.
Yeah.
And so there's this communication or misunderstanding of things when projects are happening. So I think one of the biggest things I hear is just, can we have things in our own language? Can we have more information in the language that I feel most comfortable with? Obviously, Spanish is a big
Right.
language that's spoken in South Omaha, and really across the city. But it is something that I often hear from our citizens is,
Right.
I'd like to get information quicker when there are projects happening, when streets are closing down, when there is a major project that's happening in our area. We want to know about it, and we want to be heard as well. Like,
Right.
they're the experts of their community, and they know what they need. They know what's going to work, and so oftentimes they hear from me, and I hear their message. But I think that's one of the pieces that I really want to work on while I'm in this position, is to try to get more information out in Spanish for folks. I think it's important, and I think it's, again, a way that they feel most comfortable receiving information.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks are bilingual, but Spanish is maybe their first language, and so.
Yeah.
But yeah, safety is another issue with our homeless problem and homelessness, and then just language access,
Right.
information in their own language. So
Right. I think that's great, and a good initiative that you're working on. People will be happy to hear that.
And being so involved in the community, they see you, they recognize you, or, you being out there.
yeah,
And the community involvement, I think, is a big piece, having them
yeah,
attend meetings.
for sure.
Neighborhood.
Yeah, I think trust is a big.
Yes.
When you have, and obviously, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm in this position. I've been able to work in South Omaha for many years, and in other parts of the city, but South Omaha has been one where I've done a lot of different work, and so building that trust, and folks being more open to sharing their thoughts and
Yes.
ideas on just how we can improve in our processes and within the city. So that allows me to really hone in and really listen to those concerns, and have people really trust me and believe that whatever their message is going to get back to our office.
Right.
And hopefully we'll work together in solving some of those issues that affect those community members. So yeah, definitely that trust, definitely the fact that I've been there for many years, I think gives me an advantage to really get to work with folks closely, and that they trust me, and that they've seen me in other capacities too, and they understand that the work that I've done in the past and in this position is because I love the city, and I want to make it better for everyone, and there are specific projects and specific focus areas that I work with, but ultimately I'm here to serve all. So
Right. Yeah.
When I think now with the culture, everybody wants transparency, all these agents to be,
course.
know what's going on, where their money's going, what their taxes are being.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's great that that's, what your goal is, to be more, to
Provide
yeah.
transparency to the
Yeah.
public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Coming from the mayor's office.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, with the South Omaha community, where do you think you are able to listen to or hear the concerns the most? Would you say it's the neighborhood meetings, or are there other groups that you
Sure.
attend?
Yeah, so the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance is a pretty well-attended meeting, and we're not just talking about community leaders, but just regular, normal people that live in this part of town or live in this part of the city that, oftentimes have just real problems that just want to be listened to. They want to be heard. And so when I do attend that particular meeting, it's called SONA, so South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance. That's one that I really, I'm nervous and excited to hear because, again, there's oftentimes different issues. Again, safety and parking is a situation, unfortunately, in that part of the city. There's multi-family living in one home, so parking could get a little crazy, a little tight in those parts of the city. So, those are probably one of my favorite. But at the same time, I get a little nervous because there are tough questions.
Yeah,
there are tough questions, and so if I don't have an answer for someone, I always say, let me get back to you. I don't have the answer right now, but let me figure it out. Let me ask the right department, and I'll get back to you. But the South Omaha Community Care Council, which I'm also a part of, I've been a part of that group for quite some time. In fact, they were one of the ones that I think I was able to connect with when I first moved to Omaha, because they had such a variety of agencies. And so that's another place that another meeting that I attend on a regular basis. And those are more agencies. It's sort of this collective, group of folks that want to share information. And that's part of my role as well, is to, when I do have agencies or nonprofits or folks that are needing a particular service, I'm pretty well versed in what is out there and how we can serve our folks. But those are some of the meetings: the Neighborhood Alliance, South Omaha Community Care Council. There's a Nebraska Hispanic Chamber that I attend as well, and then our regular BID meetings. I have been invited by OPS, some of the schools in South Omaha and in North Omaha, to come in and talk to the parents about this position, because I want folks to know that I'm there to serve, and if the hotline is not the appropriate place to sort of share their concern, that I'm also available to hear them out. So.
Oh, that's great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you're really providing a comprehensive services and outreach to the city, right? Is there a place where community members can go, like a website where they can go and find these neighborhood associations or these groups if they want to attend or get involved with some of these?
Sure. The Neighborhood Alliance, that's a website that, oh gosh, I don't know the website name, but in our, I want to say that in our city website, there is a directory of all of the different associations. So if you live in a neighborhood and you're like, I'd like to get involved in my neighborhood association, there is a directory, and you can always just Google, neighborhood associations, and there is a directory depending on where you live. In terms of nonprofits or organizations such as the South Omaha Community Care Council or the Hispanic Chamber, those are under also the Share Omaha, I want to say. And so, if there are folks that want to be more involved in their neighborhood association or in other groups that are also making change happen, then I would suggest, just going to those directories.
Yes, yeah.
That's great. Great.
There's actually a board or a meeting or something for everybody. I mean, there's so many different
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
committees.
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot.
Yeah.
And well, it's been great hearing from
Yes,
you.
thank
I think
you.
we're about out of time, so I'll probably have to wrap up. But thank you so much for joining us
thank you.
today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is my pleasure. I always enjoy speaking about what I do, and although I'm still, like I said, fairly new, 2 months in, or a little over 2 months, I'm still learning a lot, and I'm very excited. Part of my role, again, is to learn all about the different departments in the city and be able to really relay some of those messages to those departments or direct folks in the right direction when they have questions. So,
Right.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job.
thanks.
And again, we just want to remind you that if you believe that you've been a victim of discrimination in employment, housing, or public accommodations, you can contact us at 402-444-5055 or visit our website at humanrights.cityofomaha.org. And that's O-R-G.
And thanks for joining us today. Be sure to tune in again next week. I'm Laura Aite,
I'm Lori O'Brien.
and this has been Keep Moving Forward.